the stick handling seems to be pretty good, and their moves.
Yeah.
They pass at the last second when you know what I mean. And I
Yeah.
watched that NHL game I watched, and they're passing every, you know, you can't even get to two, and they've already passed the puck.
Yeah. Tom, I just turned record on. I'm so sorry I didn't turn it on right away because when you speak, I'm just really impressed with how clearly you explain things. So I'm going to get you the. I'll repeat the question that I asked you, and this is one I'm going to edit. It's sort of a general question. What did you learn from coaching U13s last year? And you talked about, gee, getting to know the kids and what they could or couldn't do. Can you talk about that?
Well, every group has a kind of a ceiling, and if you go beyond that, you're more or less wasting time, and you're teaching a drill instead of the kids.
Yeah.
So I try to do the multi-pass drill with them, and the third time, 90% of them caught on to it.
Yeah.
But if I would have wasted a lot of time on that, we wouldn't have got other things done. Because the drill isn't more important than them moving around. So you have to kind of figure out what they're capable of doing, and then plan the practice accordingly. And I think the most important things we did were the games with rules. Like on ice awareness is the most uncommon thing I see when I'm watching hockey. I go and watch all kinds of games, and people are wide open, and people don't even know it. They haven't looked,
Yeah.
and the pass receiver hasn't got into a space, where they can get them the puck.
Yeah.
So I really think that that's going to stop you as a player right away.
Yeah.
I know, and
Tom, you mentioned one game, a whole ice game that sort of was a cardinal game for you that worked the best, and that was making a pass in one zone. When we do 5-on-5 scrimmage, that's one of the plans. Uh, During the first practice, the last 20 minutes will be largely 5-on-5 scrimmage with constraints.
yeah, and the pass has to be made. So if I'm in the neutral zone, I get a pass from the defensive zone. That isn't a pass yet.
Yeah.
I get the puck. I have to make a pass. And
Yeah.
what that causes to happen, and that's what Johanny said, the games cause things to happen.
Yeah.
That causes me to look around and causes my teammates know I need someone, and they have to get open instead of just watching, right?
Okay.
And so that's what games do. They cause things to happen that you want to happen. And then we went to a 3-second game. They had to move it at least every 3 seconds. And when they got a little better, it was 2 seconds. And then you can go to botch goal where you have two-touch botch goal.
No, you're getting ahead of us for the U13 ice time.
We did that. We did the two-touch botch goal with the
Oh
youth.
no, I know you did, but to Tom, this session we're doing.
Well, I don't mean for this weekend. I mean
No, but I'm
this season.
having this session to help me and the coaches understand what we're facing this weekend. So, um, if you can have a look at the first small area game that we're playing, can you pull that diagram up for yourself? Just glance. I'm gonna talk through it. You don't even have to look at it. But that's
I've
where.
got it right here.
Yep. Okay. Well, uh, I'm just going to talk about it out loud. The players are lined up in two teams on each side of the coach on the blue line. The pucks are in the middle, and the coach has to dump a puck in. Tom, to run that drill, it's automatic for everybody. Coaches have run it before, but the first sequence, Tom, is you've got to dump the puck safely so it doesn't just slide in the corner. They can crash. Now we're going to play. The first game is 5 1-on-1s, but you start with one pair at a time by dumping a puck. You wait a little bit till they know which way they're going, then you dump a second, third, fourth, fifth, and then they will change on the fly as they score. So it's really whistleless. and they're working on all their one-on-one skills. And the thing that they don't understand that we do is that eventually you can match the kids up so they're lined up according to their competitive levels and they can go against one another and push each other. So this isn't an evaluation session. This is a development session. So we're hoping the coaches will be able to, in that one-on-one, get them lined up in that order. Now, this is happening at one end, Tom. At the other end, it's a different colored team with two different coaches. And I plan on doing some individual skill drills. For instance, your tight turn, that drill that you did just about every day. Can you talk about that one? Because I might pull it up. And that's go ahead and explain the purpose of it. It's just something I'll do for a few minutes so that when they try it next year, they repeat it and get it to be useful.
Well, what we did is at the start of practice, they skate around with a puck. And then I blow the whistle and they had to make a tight turn. They can do that jam turn as they progress, tight turn and go the other direction, and then take 3 hard strides. So those are the habits, a turn. But if you turn and you stand there, they're going to take the puck. It's an evasive move, right?
Yeah.
And 3 hard strides and with sometimes 5 hard strides.
Okay, I'm going to add my teaching point there, Tom, because I'm going to be there. Setting up the tight turn is a fake inside, turn the head and shoulders to go to the wall, get those feet moving, accelerate out of the turn, don't die in the turn. Those are teaching points, and they'll get it by trial and error just by doing the exercise. But we're going to do that with all the girls on the ice at that session, and I have other ideas that I can pass on to them that they might want to try at practice where they all skate on the circle. Tight turn the other way, it's a smaller space. But that idea, that drill, why is it important?
Well, because first of all, if you watch hockey on TV, it's so common now. Guys carry the puck, you get the defender to really overcommit a little, then you do tight turn and you get yourself space. We added then, I blow the whistle twice fairly close, so it's like escape moves on the boards. So they go one way and then they had to tight turn the other way. And we did later on do some of those details you're talking about, like make the fake first and then tight turn. And so that kind of thing. And we saw it in the games. My players, I had like one defenseman that you do that early in the year, and all of a sudden every defenseman was doing that to lose a forechecker. So it's one of the things that's transferred the game more than anything I've ever coached is this tight turn. So, and we did it for like 2 minutes, but at the start of every practice. So it was pretty effective there. I can't hear you, Wally.
An evasive tight turn is a tactical skill. When coaches think of skills, they just think of turning, forward skating, backward skating. They don't know that that's just general skills. Tactical skills are what are missing because they apply to the game to increase time and space on offense. And that evasive tight turn is your breakout. If a defenseman can retrieve the puck, shoulder check, tight turn, carry the puck with their head up in a game, it's going to lead to clean breakouts.
And then you can add, everybody can do this, but especially defensemen. They start skating at a 45-degree angle towards the net because you want the forechecker to, as soon as the forechecker crosses over, right? Then you do the tight turn towards the boards. And that's when you go and you pick up a puck and someone's chasing you.
Okay, Tom, now I want to get back to the cross ice game. They've all played one-on-ones and got warmed up. Coaches have an idea of getting matchups in the one-on-ones. and we've worked on the deliberate tight turn, and they go back to the one-on-ones again, trying to do the tight turn. That's the idea. The next drill, Tom, that isn't on there, but I want to talk about it, is now we go to 2-on-2s. We dump a puck in, 2 against 2, and a second puck, 2 against 2. They know which way they're going, but they got to keep their heads up. And how do you find kids at that age level with keeping their heads up, being able to carry a puck, see the ice, avoid traffic, make plays? How did it work for you in this season?
Well, they just got better at it because the kind of thing I work at, you know, that the levels I've coached, you see what the players that you're coaching do, and you're the same when you're coaching University of Major Junior. You find that the players that play at the higher levels, that's the kind of things they can do. And the ones that at the higher levels that have all kinds of skills, but they accomplish nothing, is because they're not aware whatsoever. So, you know, having these games where they have to be aware and use turns and come out with their head up and, you know, make the best play. That's what I think the key to coaching is.
I want to talk now. We're playing 2-2-on-2s just to see if they can do the evasive tight turns, have some fun. And then we go to 3-on-3s. Now they're actually scrimmaging, keeping score one side against the other. They've obviously got to get open, and but the idea of the buying space and time, 3-on-3, hanging on to that puck and protecting it. I want to welcome Peter. Peter, we're going through the ice time we're going to run this weekend with the U13 girls. If you can visualize it and share any thoughts, we'd appreciate it. But I'm going to send you the picture of the cross ice competitive game sequence. And I'm sure you're familiar, Peter, where the pucks are on the blue line, players on each side. You dump pucks in and call the numbers out and they'll go. We just described 5 1-on-1s, dumping a puck in, waiting a while to get them going the right way, and then playing games. We talked about 2-2-on-2s at once to keep the head up. And we talked about practicing in between that evasive tight turns. And that's what we're going to be doing at the first ice time this weekend. Now we're into the 3-on-3s, and it's just pretty straightforward, Tom. And I'm using one of your constraints in that, Tom. And the constraint is you got to pass to the coach and get open. And Tom, when you do that, and I don't know, I'm asking you this, when you pass to the coach, do you have to pass every transition every time you gain possession?
Well, to go from offense to defense.
Yes.
But I don't have coaches take passes. That's one of my.
I want the coaches here. Excuse me, Tom. The coaches have to learn.
If that's the purpose if you're teaching the coach, but when I coach, I do not have coaches take passes.
No, that's the next
I got a lot of players on the ice, they can take the passes.
Yeah, but right now we're teaching the coaches how to teach support and timing. So stay with me. We're coaching coaches here first. They're going to get the puck. They're going to look around, tell the players to get open. Can you see me? And they'll give it back. And then the next stage is what you said. They've got to pass to a player designated up high and get open. Now, that might be every transition, or better yet, whenever you can get the puck to the coach, get it to the coach. But it's really important that they pass to someone and get open for the return pass, all players. So that's where constraints come in on that particular drill. So it's something that we're going to be doing in that first ice time. I want to welcome Rick, who will be looking at a few players there. And Rick, we're just reviewing the ice time for my sake to edit this tape for the coaches who are going to be on the ice while I'm on the bench trying to make this ice session purposeful. So I've sent Rick to you the cross ice games and the I haven't sent the text of the deliberate drills yet, but between drills, we've already with Tom covered the evasive tight turn sequence. You can do them skating around the ice, the whole surface, or on the circle, where at a command, they're going to change direction and go the other way without a puck first, with a puck second if they want. But right now, with the time we've got with these players, we're going to have them all try it with a puck. And just we're doing it for the coaches so they learn to deliver it. Now, the 3-on-3, I'm going to ask all of you guys, we've got 90 minutes of ice time, 2 teams, half ice. One team, one end doing the same thing as the other. I'm trying to supervise it from the bench. How long do you think, Tom, we can play and Rick and Hal do the 3-on-3 variations and slip in some individual tactical skill practice? I believe I've allocated 50 minutes of time for the cross ice games activity, and I've sort of expect 10 minutes of in between time to work on tactical skills. Do you think that's enough time? I'm going to send you guys another tactical skill that I have to work on that's going to be really important. I'm just going to send it right now to you. And the tactical skill is going to be puck protection. So when you get it, you can all, bring it up. They're going to be set up on the ice. And there's some key points on this drill that the coaches are going to have to understand to make it work properly. Now, let me know if you've got it. I just sent it now.
Did you text it or what?
I've just texted it. Yes, that's what I'll do. I'm not able to share screen. I played with it, but couldn't get her going. Rick, have you got yours? Peter, now you may not be able to see it, but okay, Rick, I'm hoping you're on, but I'm going to continue to talk to Tom because I'm going to be editing this for the coaches who are going to be doing the clinic. They might not get to watch it until after the clinic. But Tom, if you look at the diagram, I placed the coaches sort of on the 4 corners of the blue lines just to make sure they spread out, each looking at players in their area to see that the drills run right.
Well, what I would do, I would move the players back. You got them up there so far, but have them with stick length of the red line. So there's a little bit of neutral zone there. That's a pretty big rink. So, and I'd have the coaches for sure call off sides. That
Well, we're
forces
not
the team in there to get.
here, Tom. You're looking at the puck protection one.
Well, I'm just looking at the one you just sent me. So, Perns 2-on-2. Let me see. Perns cross ice with constraints.
No, I'm just sending.
All the way to. Okay, now I see. Yeah, I had the wrong.
That's the one I want to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. I'm now going to go through a couple of these games with you and Peter and Hal. The players are paired up, one stationary, one player with a puck without handling it, just holding it. It's in front of them. They're protecting it with their body and their stick. Now, here's how this drill works, Tom. It won't work if the player X behind them is standing away from them. They have to be hands on the back with their stick. On the whistle or the go, X tries to get the puck back away from player O. And O doesn't carry it. O just shields it, leans into the checker. So they feel them. They learn to protect the puck with their bodies. And they do it a short interval. They repeat it a couple of times, switching, but this is pivotal. I've seen coaches do it, copying it from Hockey Canada's website, and they have the checker standing away too far back. The puck controller or protector is shoulder checking and loses them. So I start with the feel and the need and the importance of contact, because that leads to the next drill, which is free puck races, which I may or may not cover, but I do have a plan to deliver it. And this free puck race, 1 versus 1, we did it with the senior national team. And this is something that has to be done at this age that I think will help them battle, protect the puck, hang on to it, see the ice. That's the purpose of it. Do any of you have any?
They can't reach between the legs with their stick.
Good point, Tom. Good point.
I use this regularly, Wally, and it needs to be a play action thing. There's no passive participants.
No, not yet.
Tom says you can try to access the puck in any way, shape, or form other than reaching between the legs from behind.
Correct. Yep. No, that's the idea. And
Wally, I would just interject that the point is for that person protecting the puck, the other person's trying to get it, but they have to possess the puck, because very often you'll see a kid just reach around, just slap the thing halfway across the ice. Now that's not puck possession either. So I think it's an important point that the person who is on the backside trying to take that puck, possess that puck, not
take it away. Take it away. Yeah. Now the next stage I don't have diagrammed. Stationary paired passing, keep away on the whistle. Stationary, very little skating, just protecting the puck in a small area. That's the next progression that we won't be covering, but I just wanted to show all of you so the coaches see the teaching aspect, progressive teaching. We're going to slip that in a small degree, hopefully to spend time with them over the year, applying some of these things so they get better at developing their tactical skills that serve a purpose in the game. So I'm going to send you guys the free puck race one, because Tom, it's a new one, and players are lined up on the boards in pairs, and the coaches can try to get them matched up to begin with. So I've just sent it now, and I want to talk through this for the coaches, particularly that have never done it before. And you can see, Tom, if you can check your phone, can you find that drill? And Rick, the players are paired up, bums against the boards, maybe a couple stick lengths apart. A puck is placed in front of them, maybe 4 stick lengths away, equidistant. On the whistle or go, they race to the puck. Now here's my question, Tom. How are you going to show this drill to all the coaches and the players at once? So what I do with the team is I only have 2 players go and everybody watching closely to see what they're doing. Rick, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, Wally, I just got a second one from you, but it's the same as the puck protect one.
Well, I'm going to send it again.
But you're right, Wally. You have 2 players show it and show them on the board Make sure you bring a board and show them on the board.
I have this all diagrammed, pre-ice the coaches. It will be on the bench. The time of getting the players in is something we're going to
Talk
have.
about the 2 players that are demonstrating.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I've done this before. They're close to me at the bench, so I'm able to explain it to them. I don't need to see the board. It'll just be the 3 of me from the bench with the 2 players. The coach is watching and the players watching, so they get it right. Now, Peter, I don't know if it's going to help to send you these or not right now, but I will. Okay, you're not going to get this one, Peter. I'm having trouble finding your name here. I sent it again. Make sure you got it, Rick. Let me know so I can talk through it. Tom, have you got the diagram proper one?
Not yet. I got that same one.
I just
I
sent.
know I do it all the time.
No, I know you do, Tom. We're trying to talk.
But I'm just saying I don't need the diagram.
Okay,
Yeah, I've got it, Wally.
good. Okay, and you have to set the players properly, bum against boards, puck equidistant, have go. Now, in the demonstration of the 2 players, without any teaching, you just say, go, get the puck, protect the puck. Don't go all over the ice. Stay in a small area. Somebody gets it, somebody doesn't. Now, here's what happens. Usually they both go straight to the puck. You want to make the point of not going to the puck, but going to the lane, protect the lane before the puck. That's the teaching point of that drill. Do you think it's worthwhile doing that at this ice time, Rick? Between cross-ice games?
I do. Just one comment. I usually let them try it the first, have somebody do it. Because they will usually do what you say, both go direct to the puck. So now you have the obvious correction point as opposed to guiding them against it to start with.
Yeah,
Let them
well,
see what the other way is and then show them the correct way.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I only
Okay.
take the 1 pair. They do it. I point out what they should do. Everybody then spreads out. So
Fair
this
enough.
is where how we manage this drill. The coaches have to get them located, spread out properly, pucks located properly. And then from the side, I would run the drill, or I would have one coach run it with a whistle on the ice. That remains to be seen.
Could you just explain it to the coaches and have them do it because you want to watch them?
Okay, I think I can figure that out, Tom. I'm talking to them before. So right now my plan is to do it that way. I've done it that way before with pretty good success. Okay, we're going to go to the Perns diagram now. Can you guys find the Perns diagram? 3-on-3. Now the coaches, many of them have done it before. I talked to one of the coaches yesterday. The O's against the X's. You have to space them. 3 O's, 3 X's, 3 O's, 3 X's, and you begin with 1 puck and you attack 3-on-3 and try to score. It's a game of hockey with a rush, defending 3-on-3 on the rush and defending 3-on-3 low, attacking directly on the rush, and attacking with low zone possession offense, protecting the puck, escape skating, trying to score. The defending team has to get the puck and carry it and pass it to the next in line. They can't just shoot it out. In that game, you keep score, and it's just the complete game of hockey. And this is a fantastic, fun game. Depending on your numbers, one team on the whole ice. You can go 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s at each end, and then you might go 3-on-3 at one end. But it's just a great whistleless drill. And as you mentioned, Tom, the attackers can't go offside, and the defenders have to let them cross the blue line. Anything else to add on that one, Rick, Tom?
Yeah, the offside rule is important because otherwise, they're in the zone and, they got to hustle out of the zone once the play's made. And the other thing, if the new defenders go in the neutral zone, they can't even make the first pass. So
Yeah.
they have to kind of go to the blue line and play the gap from there.
Yeah.
And then it's a good game. But
Okay. Well, we've got that, and I've got one last thing to show you that I'm going to send to you. We're going to go to, we've taken 50 minutes to cover this. When are we going to interject the skills between drills, tactical skills between games? That's to be figured out. When the two coaches are on the ice, one's running the drill, one's going to be talking to me and going back, getting ready for the next drill, but also pointing out things that we've noticed watching the drill from the side. So I'm communicating with the coaches before the practice, and I'm communicating to them as the games are on. While one is running the game, I'll be talking to the other one at the bench. I'm hoping that will be adequate for communication. So the last thing of all that I want to show you is the breakaway skating progression. And this is something, Tom, that I noticed at every ice time, at every game, is players who handle the puck could not gain enough speed with it. They got caught from behind. They were slower with the puck because they were handling it instead of pushing it ahead. So it's a drill that is worth taking the time to the players to get, and it may take a little more time than we want, but I'm going to do it between the cross ice games, a little bit of a water break before we start 5-on-5, 7-on-7, whole ice variations with constraints. So I'm going to send that to you again. Rick, you're driving. No, not Rick. Peter, you're driving. I might send it to you anyway so you get it. I think I've got you now. Okay, I've sent it, everybody. Let me know so I can talk through it, because I'm going to email these to the coaches to listen to this portion of the Sharks talk today. Have you got it, Rick, Tom?
just got it.
Okay. So, Tom, making this drill operate, you can do it. I can do it. We've done it before, but the coaches on the ice have to get set up. So it might be the greens at one end lined up maybe 9 across, 7 across, 2 rows of 7, and the whites at the other end, whatever color. The coaches have to get them spaced and lined up like that. What am I going to do with the goalies?
Sorry,
Well,
Wally.
Yes, sir, Rick?
I didn't get an image. I got a text, but no image.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'll send it to you again, Rick.
Okay.
Now, Rick, if you can visualize, one team starts from one goal line, 7 players line up across on the goal line, and 7 wait behind them. At the other end, it's the same thing. The other colors lined up, 7 across on the goal line, 7 behind. They're basically going to go the length of the ice One end will go the length of the ice, and then the other team will go, once they get there, the other way. Have you got it yet, Rick?
I do now, Wally.
Okay, well, here's the deal. This is really important for teaching. The first stage is all four groups. One color will go the length of the ice, breakaway skating, racing to the far blue line, and then stopping and going behind the opposite goal line, waiting their turn. Once they've crossed on the go, the other group of 7 will go the other way, racing the length of the ice. And it's going to be a repeat for all 4 teams. And I'm talking to the coaches for all 4 units of 7 or 8. I'm asking the coaches, don't say anything, just watch how many of them are one hand on the stick, pushing it ahead, allowing them to skate faster. More knee bend, leaning forward. Most of them will be handling a puck and slowing up. So then we will do the progression. At this level, they will skate slowly, pushing it ahead with the top hand grip, rotating the wrist, forehand, backhand side of the blade, pushing it ahead. The rotation of the wrist allows the rhythm of the skating to be better. They do it slowly first, all the way down, all the way back, all the way down, all the way back. However, we're going to run it. And then we're going to go 3/4 speed. And then we're going to repeat it racing again. And there's a competition. The winners, the first 2 winners of each group, they'll go to the center ice boards, wait until everybody's raced and they're the winners. And they'll go at one end and we'll see who the fastest skaters are in that group. So any questions about that, you guys? Any suggestions, ideas, comments?
That sounds good.
Okay, now that's really the essence of it. So I'm gonna finish talking about the last 20 minutes. Their coaches are on the bench. 1 might be on the ice, 3 on the bench. The players are just scrimmaging 5-on-5. Now, the first scrimmage I'm doing is Dave King's 7-on-7, 3-puck scrimmage. And the reason for that is the coach will dump the puck, 1 on one side, 1 on the other, 1 in the middle, and the 7 players will race to the puck and decide offense or defense, try to score. The reason it's not 2-puck scrimmage is 2-puck polarizes. 3-puck means they got to keep their head up and decide whether they're going to attack or defend. Just a little more heads up with the 3-puck. It might be advanced for this group, but I don't know. Tom, you would know. We keep score. The first team to get 2 goals wins. A win is 2 points. Best of 3. The team that gets the first team to get 2 goals wins. And that's the nature of the game, the first one we're playing. Do you think it's feasible for this age level?
Well, it's not very complicated.
Okay. Now we go to 5-on-5 scrimmage. Change on the whistle. Pass to your goalie. And as far as lining up in positions, they're just coming out of the gate and figuring it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the gate, figuring it out. And we're trying to teach changes here when they come off the ice. Stay out of the way along the boards and let the players get on the ice. Just make sure they come off really fast. And during the season, shift lengths get long, changes are a problem, and we can begin to introduce that in that game. Then we'll start 5-on-5 scrimmaging from a face-off, and the coach will just dump the puck facing off different locations and let them go. Now, Tom, I'm sorry, I forgot your stage in 5-on-5. It's they have to make a pass in each zone. This is going to be a mixed group. Do you think they'll handle that? It's not one team that's already been picked to the level they're trying out for.
Well, it's gonna show who's even capable of looking around.
Okay, it'll reveal what we need to
I don't
practice.
think it's that difficult of a rule.
Yeah,
I do it at hockey schools all the time with mixed groups. It's no big deal, really.
it works for you, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as long as they know they have to make a pass, not, like I said to you earlier, some of them, if they get a pass from the defensive zone,
Yeah.
They'll just keep on going. No, a pass has to be made in each zone. And
Yeah,
that causes people to get up and support and them to look around.
so do they have to make a pass within the zone?
No. No, they just, one has to be made from each zone. It can go from one zone to the other.
Okay.
Be offside if it
Okay.
if it enters the other zone, but from
If
defense,
it's skated out or skated in, you have to pass it out or pass it in, is that correct?
no. No, you can skate it in. You just, when you get in the zone, one pass at
Then you
least.
need to make a pass, okay.
It's just to get the players to support and the player with the puck to look around.
Now, Tom, other constraint, 3-second rule, whole ice scrimmage, or is it too long, or 2 seconds?
Well, 3 seconds is a good place to start because what they do is, first time they do it, a lot of them just panic and they get the puck and they just throw it away. So I usually take the puck and I count how far you can go. I didn't do 3 seconds for very long, but how far you can go in that time so they know that they don't have to just get the puck and, and get rid of it.
Any other ideas for constraints in that game? Whole ice.
Well, you only have so much time. You can't do 10,000 things.
No, I know I don't have so much time, but during the year, they're going to try different things. And Tom, the game's going to teach. They have to be able to protect the puck, carry the puck, buy space and time, get their head up, move the puck, use each other. So that's the first and second ice time. Rick, the first day, the morning ice time is cross ice scrimmage. The second ice time will be Perns 3-on-3, and all of the individual skills, tactical skills that need to be worked on to play the game better, to think the game better, will be slipped in there in between. The thinking, the hockey sense, Tom, I think you can comment, is it's lacking. You've watched your team play in the Division III Pee Wee Championship, and you talk about 1-on-5 hockey. Can you talk about that, your experience?
Well, not just this year. This year I coached a girls team and we played in Div 3 boys, which is pretty good hockey. And each team would have a few girls on it too. And the biggest thing is awareness. That I found that a lot of kids were pretty good with the puck, but they had no idea where anybody else was. And the other players just thought, well, it's their turn to carry the puck now, and I'll watch. And so looking around and the puck support are the two biggest things I don't see here. Like, I've gone to Europe a lot of times, like over 20 times. And the thing they do there, because they're a club system, they probably overpass. they get the puck and they move the puck all around. It's like two totally different games when you see youth hockey by players that were, coached by guys that actually know what they're doing. And so there's a good balance. But, what I see is even my grandson went through all those levels too. And AAA midget, hardly anybody was aware. Junior A played in the SJ, and there wasn't a lot of awareness either. And the individual skills are pretty good, but they don't generally play in the game. They don't play the game that well. So that's my take on it. I can't hear you, Wally.
Muted, Wally.
Yeah, these first two ice times, all 4 ice times at the U13 level and the U15, it's just development. So we're trying to teach them, develop their skills, develop their hockey sense. Now, one thing I'm going to be doing from the bench, Tom and Rick, when we're playing 5-on-5 in the games, this is with referees. Coaches will be coaching. I will be on the bench, and I want to deliberately expose them to, if you can see my hand, the claw forecheck. Cut the ice in half. F1's the first one. 2 and 3 have width and depth. The defense are a half rink width apart. That's the forecheck. You steer to the side. When you get to one side, hey, the defense on the inside and the winger on the inside can't cross the train tracks. Cut the ice in half. Somebody falls down or they go D to D, it's a new 1, 2, 3. Picture done. Claw forecheck. Now, the one thing I've added, Rick, when I went on the bench at the spring hockey games, I worked with the defense, and when they were on one side, the defense, the bottom 2 digits of my hand, they had to be a half rink width apart. Now spread out, cut the ice in half, and when one D pinched, the other teeter-tottered. So they're in, half rink width apart, out. Teeter-totter, teeter-totter, teeter-totter. That's what I'm going to teach there. Tom, the link you sent about shrink, that's going to be the D-zone cover. They're going to collapse. When the puck's behind the goal line, both wingers will be on the inside hash marks. When the puck's in one corner, the far winger comes to the inside hash marks. They have to shrink down to support that area. So what happens, Rick and Tom, if you can picture that, when the puck's low, the puck's on one side, the D, or the winger, on the puck side is high, covering the D, but the other one is teeter-tottering low. So it's the teeter-totter concept in D-zone cover with the wingers. When the puck's in the middle, they're both on the hash marks. I did that with the girls at one of the spring games. It was the biggest payoff that I learned all of my years of coaching during those competitions. I'm asking the coaches at the games to provide only positive feedback or constructive feedback. And positive specific means, do they notice a good tight turn, buying space and time? Do they notice good puck protection, good pass, good support, good back check? They point it out to the players on the bench when it's happening, and then try to remember to praise the player when they come to the bench. So I'm trying to educate them about the importance of their feedback, being as positive as they can, teaching specifically and generally teaching on the bench. Rick, you've mentored long enough. What do you think of that idea? Have you Can't hear you, Rick. Sound.
I don't have any comment at this point, to be honest with you. I'm still sorting through this and trying to make it a picture in my mind. I do have a question for you, though.
Sure.
You've got first ice time, second ice time on the 16th, and I've got a schedule from Sam that has 3 ice times. Is that been updated, or?
Well, I haven't seen that. I've been told there's 2 ice times on the first day, 1 on each of the last 2. So I'll have to verify that with Sam.
Yeah, I just,
The schedule
That-
the schedule
kind
I
of-
sent out is different than Sam's.
like,
We'll get
first-
that straight later, Rick. Okay.
Okay.
Because, the communication is a big thing administratively about what we're going on. Initially, I was thinking of doing this with the U15s. I'm sure glad we didn't. I think the U15s and Tom's loaded up with trying to help that group and get on that page. They're just having scrimmaging with officials. So I'm not sure how the coaches are going to be dealing with things, if they're going to do any agreed upon coaching. And like I just found at the U13 level, when I watch them play games, they got to know how to forecheck. They got to know how to play in their zone. And if you can get that by in 3 minutes, talking to them, and in 3 or 4 minutes on the bench, now those coaches, whether they coach in the elite teams or not, are going to go back to their communities with ideas that are going to make them much more effective than they were. That's the hope and the intent of why I'm doing it that way.
Okay,
Well, it's a totally different thing as well, as the coaches are in place on the U15 already.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep, you're totally right. Totally right. Well, I'm gonna stop recording this session. Thank you very much for your help, guys. It's good for me. I'm gonna look at it. I'll send out the whole thing, and then I'll send out parts of it with titles, so that if I'm learning in the process. And this is one of the things, Rick and Tom, when you're planning practice, I think the biggest thing is, you have to adapt on the fly. You got to be flexible. And it's just like with this, we've got an outline of a plan with a lot of details in it. And with my experience, I'm hoping I can adapt to satisfy the needs of the coaches to understand everything, and the players to enjoy the experience and learn something from it. But the biggest thing of all is, when the coaches leave here, the ones that make the biggest difference with the development of the players. So we're just trying to help the coaches, help the players more than we have in the past. Any closing
watching,
comments?
when I'm going to play hockey on Tuesday night, there's always this group. They're charging these kids through the nose to come and skate with them.
Yeah.
And they do so many things that one player at a time leaves. And often they pass to the coach instead of a player. And there's 10 at each end, so they're doing something 1/10 of the time. And then when they do stuff, they all turn at the same spot. So the rink guys had to get the slush and fill in the ruts that they've ruined the ice, instead of just moving the pylon every little while, just so they're not turning on exactly the same spot.
Yeah.
So, so there are a lot of, these guys are supposedly, they must be pretty high level coaches if kids are paying a lot of money to go to their camp.
No, I understand. Tom, I forgot, and I'm glad I remembered. The one thing I wanted to do is talk about what you did with keeping track of passes. And I'm going to start it by saying, Tom, that was the most important thing in my mind that you did, that may have made them be aware of passing and its importance that paid off. Tom had a mother who was really knowledgeable of the game, who kept track of completed passes and shots for both teams, and counting passes and sending them on a whiteboard from the stands and sending those stats to Tom at the bench between periods, whatever. They kept track of it all year. And your ability to pass, Tom, exceeded any team. And one time I saw at the U13 level, 7 completed passes in a row. If I see a AAA game, if I see 2 in a row, I'm amazed. If I see 3, I might faint. So
What happens is everybody works on breakouts, right?
Yeah.
So teams are usually pretty good at getting out of their own end. But once the puck gets in the neutral zone, the odd team moves the puck around, but it's like you say, you don't see a whole lot of passing. And I counted at one Flames game that they made over 100 passes in a period. They'd make like 6-7 passes going down the ice. And that's the difference. Those are elite players. So what we want to do is get players to the level that they are supporting the puck and moving it when someone's in better position. And that I have a friend down in the States who I got the idea from, and he makes that the dominant thing. He posts the player at the end of the game that made the most passes gets acknowledged and all this sort of thing. I didn't do that, but makes the passing the dominant thing there. I don't go to that extent, but I do have her. She keeps it on a big whiteboard, and both teams, not just my team. I want to see what the other team's doing. She puts down everybody that shoots. Their number is there. If there's a goal scored, a circle, and in the middle, she kept track of everybody's passes, had all the numbers down, and that's running the whole game. And then she also did plus minus. Plus, she coached the team from the bench, yelling at them all the time what to do. I don't know how she did everything, not from the bench, from the stands. And she took a picture each period and sent me the picture, and then I'd look and I'd see it shows me a lot of things about whether we're passing, where our shots are coming from, and all this kind of stuff. And it helped me plan the next practice and who needed to work on different things. But it's good information to have. And,
Tom, I'm meeting with the parents in the afternoon before the second ice time. And I am hoping, and I'm going to talk to the coaches about this idea of getting a parent to count the passes on a whiteboard and to send them to me that I will forward to them. And I'm hoping the coaches, when they go back to their teams, try this, get their parents engaged, involved in helping track, and get the players understanding that right now in elite hockey, the pass is more important. And I'm really disappointed in girls that play boys hockey, because boys hockey is dominant hockey, one-on-one hockey, coast to coast, carry the puck. The best players carry the puck the length of the ice. And we have some girls that are going to make the team because they do that. They're going to catch the attention of the people.
It's not a bad thing to be able to do, and then add to it that you look around and make plays.
Yeah. Now, what we're evaluating, Rick, is the skills are going to be the easiest thing to evaluate. And I don't know how easy it is if you're going to find anybody that you can rate as being above average in hockey sense and above average in compete.
But that's when you use the Bob Murdoch evaluation. You
What's
watch a player, if you want to watch, you're deciding between a couple of players.
Yeah.
And you watch a player, and every time they get the puck, they get a plus or a minus. Did they make a play, or did they gain a zone, or were they the last player to touch the puck?
Good point.
You know, and that shows you who can play the game. You know, and that was the only stat that Mudd used when he coached.
See, he was coaching the Winnipeg Jets. We're coaching kids that are trying to make.
But I mean, that's a separator. You got a bunch of kids that are similar. You find out who knows how to play the game better by doing that stat. And I know I've picked kids that go end to end all the time and banging my head after and say, why did I pick that kid? Because they do catch your attention, that's for sure.
Rick, go ahead.
Yeah, well, one of the keys for me, Wally, in that area, and I've talked about it before, is I watch what are they doing with their heads when they don't have the puck and when they do get it. Is their head moving? Is it up? Are they scanning? And if they are, that's a plus. If they're just grabbing it and skating like hell, not so much.
Well, how many
That's
times did you see that? Did you see Joe over there is wide open? They had no idea he was even there because they did what you just said.
Yeah.
They just look at the other team as a bunch of pylons to go around. And the second part of the equation is who's helping me here.
Yeah, and that's been a key for me in evaluating and team selection is what's the head doing? If they have hockey sense, they know they have to use it. If they're deficient in that area to any degree, there's a lesser degree of scanning and head involved, eyes up type play, where they just grab it and go, or they stand and wait to see what's going to happen where they can fit in. I look for guys that are seeing space, going to space, because they are observing. And that's really hockey sense is by and large how you're using your eyes and your ears. But your head has to be involved and it has to be active.
Yeah, that's an important point.
Just if I can jump in again, back on the passing thing, Wally, if you're wanting to pass some things along to the coaches, is my major process for dealing with improved passing is in practice. I make sure that they've had the benefit of knowing the mechanics, the proper mechanics of passing, giving and receiving. And then I stress in drills. There's one puck in the game, and if you want to advance it and complete the drill, you have to protect that puck. You can't throw it away and then pick up a loose one along the way. And you have to be very vigilant on that. Those two things alone, your practice efficiency picks up, your pace of play picks up once they get the idea. It's not that they're incapable, they just don't put enough emphasis, enough importance on it. So in the practice environment, I feel it's our coaching job to establish that. And that just transfers easily into the game. And that's where you see your team improve, your team play in all zones.
Rick, when you talk about the fundamentals or mechanics of passing, I totally agree with you. And all I'm saying is handle the puck, feel it before you pass.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
I'm saying this to you, to the coaches who might be listening. And talking about Tom's team, he was working with U18 girls. They couldn't do the drill because they couldn't complete passes. He stopped them, had them stationary pass handling a puck, went back to the drill, had the feel of the puck. Drills went great.
Yeah.
Now what happened, and I worked with girls hockey years ago, they had a skills group working with them teaching touch passing or slap passing. It wasn't really catch and release passing. And they had trouble passing in the drills they did after that because they jumped the mechanics of feeling the puck by handling it.
Well, you saw me, Wally.
We're not teaching the passing skill at this camp. We're assuming they've got it. but to all the coaches out there, handle a puck before you pass. And at the U15 level, Tom, you might get no dust passing, catch and release passing. Can you talk on that?
Well, Johanny used to always teach wrist passing and no noise. And he talked about no noise. Good players don't make noise when they skate. Good players don't make a lot of noise when they pass. Because like you're saying, that guy's slapping the puck all the time, right? You tell them to do one touch passing, they don't really receive it. It's more like ping pong, right? And then I remember one coach, I think it was Ted Green when he was coaching the Oilers. Guys were talking about saucer passes. He says, the most important thing is the players make flat passes. So you got to get that rotation from the back of the stick to the middle of the stick, kind of nice flat passes. Then you can handle it, because you get those pucks that are bouncing all over. It takes you half a second at least to get them under control and the play's over. So nice flat passes, then you can go, it's the same motion to make the saucer pass, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a lift to it. So making that flat pass and quiet is the key.
Yeah. And the key to me that coaches will understand is handle the puck when you pass so you feel it heel to toe spinning off your stick. Spin gives it accuracy. So when you throw a ball or pass a football, the spin of the puck, the spin of the ball determines its direction. And really good players can catch it, spin it, and no dust pass very accurately. So those are very advanced skills. We're just trying to get passing become a part of the game.
But it's really critical that they learn the proper technique at these ages, right? Because if you, like the guys I play men's hockey with, I mean, that's the worst skill by far, is passing
No
and receiving.
argument.
Right, Rick? People pass and receive, and taking backhand passes is, that's something that guys really struggle with, is taking backhand passes. So passing and receiving are kind of if you're the last person to touch the puck because you couldn't take a pass, then that's not a really good thing.
I've made the point reception is target with one hand, catch with two, which cushions the puck. Targeting with one hand gets it out there, extended, rotating the blade to be square. Now, these are details, Tom, that we know, but I wouldn't expect coaches to be doing this kind of thing. We've done it for how many years? So it's automatic to us. I'm just saying handling a puck and feeling it now. Now, over the course of time, what we're talking about has to be done at U11s when they first learn to handle a puck, feel a puck, pass a puck. And that's where possibly down the line we might be able to get working with those coaches at that level. And as those coaches move up the ladder, passing will become the biggest weapon of all because you can't defend the pass. It's easy to defend one-on-one, 1-on-5. Tom, you talked about it. The best players were trying to go coast to coast against you. They couldn't hardly get a shot on your net, let alone enter the zone, because you double teamed them. Most teams will double team the best players. And end of story. If you can give and go or get to open spaces and make yourself available, the game will work. That's why.
In the NHL, they double team. They're back pressure now.
Yeah.
Back pressure. They'll back pressure, and that player stays in the zone. Not always a centerman. And, they make it 2-on-1. So at that level, even Vegas stopped McDavid, because of the back pressure, and they got some really good defensemen.
Yeah.
Him and Burry might be the two best, I guess Lemieux too, 1-on-1 players ever.
Yeah.
So make it a 2-on-1.
Yeah. Rick,
So much of this, fellas, is about control. Like if you go to passing, part of the rhetoric I use is that you cannot pass what you have not controlled. So you need to cushion that reception. You need to have the puck under control, and now you can deliver it under control. If you take any of those elements out of there, you're risking it going awry. Part of the instruction is, what is the purpose of a pass? It's to get it from you to the other person. So what good does it do to throw it too far ahead, too far behind, or even worse, into his knees, into his hip, where he's got to glove it? You've got to get it on the ice. You've got to get it flat to get the best possible result. If you leave any of those things out, you're just hoping and praying that something good's going to come out of it. And that sounds overly simplistic when you say it, but in my practice environment, that's the way I present it. That's the emphasis I put on it. That's the detail I give them to drive the point home. This stuff is important. There's a right way and a wrong way. Yes, one-touch passing is there. Dust passing, as Wally calls it, it's there. It's part of the game. But once you master the fundamentals, it's much easier to be good at the advanced part of it. But most of them want a one-touch pass or just throw the puck into an area and hope something good's going to happen. With a purpose is, again, part of the phraseology that I use.
See, Rick, I totally agree with everything you said, because you and I and Tom, we were educated to teach. Especially you and I, Rick. We broke down skills, used a whole method of progressively teaching. Today's coaches don't. So I wouldn't expect them to be able to teach to the degree that we do.
That's part of what I'm stressing, Wally, is if we got to suggest that to these fellows, no matter what their
well, I am
experience level is.
Nothing's provided for them from resources on how to teach those individual things. They've gotten away from biomechanics, progressive teaching. I am going to be doing some progressive teaching on the free puck race, on the puck protection.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
coming from my experience with Dave King and the national team. That's something that's going to translate into the game. I don't have time to work on passing. Parents don't want to work on passing. It's no time. This is just a development camp to help the coaches understand. So when I talk about passing, I'm going to share with both of you what I would do at this camp, but I'm going to try to do at later ice times if they give me permission. And the first one is a get open idea. So your whole team is spread out in half the ice or in the neutral zone, and a coach is standing with a puck on the blue line and asking everybody, get open. Are you open? Can I pass to you? Are you in an open lane? And the coach has to look around to make sure that nobody's standing behind anybody, that a pass could be made to them. Then you move the puck to another coach standing against the wall, the far wall or the near wall. The location of the puck is different. The players have to get open for that coach. So I'm teaching the coaches to teach the players, are you open? Look around. The coaches have to look and see, are the players all open? And then you can do it with players, passing it to the outside player. Have a player get open. That's the progression I want to go through. And then, of course, the other progressions would be 4 versus 2 keep away. Possess the puck, get open. Those are all drill game progressions, but the starting point is get open. Teach it. How do you teach it? Do you have eye contact? So those ideas are yet to come. Hopefully we can just begin, get a start with the coaches at this level, and they'll move forward and continue to be like us, Sharks that want to keep learning and getting better at what they do. And unfortunately, we're no longer working with players. Tom is, but over time, Tom, Rick's working with coaches. I'm working with coaches. Working with coaches is going to make a bigger difference for more people in time. Keep up the good work, everybody. And anything else you guys want to talk about? You want to talk a bit about the Stanley Cup and the outcomes, or?
Well, just before we leave this part, Wally, the first ice session is tomorrow evening.
I haven't looked. I was assuming it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I've got it at 4 o'clock on this schedule that Sam sent out.
I haven't got my schedule in front of me, but
So I just want to clarify that so that,
well, the one I sent you out is the one I'm going on.
okay.
I'll double check with you tomorrow on the times. Like, when did Sam Sanders send it?
That was on Tuesday, this one. She sent it to you actually in CC.